2020 Acura RDX A-Spec Performance Appearance Package. It's all about the looks on this one. So Andy, what's it gonna be? It's red and black on the inside, so find something that's gonna match. Great choice, but for me, I'm going with this. Yes, I've been waiting so long to wear this again. Now the A-Spec package. Goodbye shiny chrome details. Hello black. That alone is so nice, but the fabrics, material, they just pop. Ooh. And yes, it's a given. I love the RDX. I have a second generation of my own. And if you happen to tune into last week's video, you got a special little tour of my cargo area. But don't worry if you missed it, because it might make a special appearance again in this video. Because this RDX is longer, and when you compare the size, boy, do you notice a difference. Andy, let's go show them. First of all, it is so easy to load Andy in. Boop. And look at the space back here. And now compare it to my old RDX. Can you see the difference? Andy's not hanging off the ledge. That's right, because this is longer. And I happen to think this RDX has some of the best underfloor storage in its class. Andy, I'm gonna need you to move for a hot second. Oh yeah, pretty good, huh? That's not it. Now this is the real deal. Pasta, pasta, pasta. Pasta again? I feel like that's all we eat these days. I'm getting a little tired of eating out of the pantry. Andy, we need more veggies. Andy, where are my carrots? The seat back too? Andy, I am really starting to wonder, how are you doing this? You know where else you could store some stuff? The floor space in the second row. It's pretty much flat. Great option for a duffel bag, save some space in that rear, or great for dogs that like to ride on the floor. So being that Andy has essentially grown up in an RDX, jumping in here was very familiar, and I knew she would feel secure as a rider. Now, if you're looking for something that is smooth, easy to maneuver, solid, and stable, this will deliver. The SH all-wheel drive in here is incredible, and it will give you the confidence you need to drive in all types of conditions. I remember when I first got my RDX, we had this massive blizzard and I had to drive home with so much snow and ice on the road. Cars, SUVs were stuck, pulled over on the side of the road, spinning out. It was a mess. But I got home safe, had no trouble navigating up hills that were icy, and after that day, I had a whole new love for my Acura. And because I'm an owner, I can speak from experience. These things are built to last. Now, mine might not be the prettiest looking thing, and yes, it might have a love tap or two. I may or may not have driven into my garage at one point. Ooh, don't drive when distracted. Or an unlicensed driver may have given me a little love tap in the back. True story. I have to say, 80,000 miles in, it still kind of feels like a new car. So that's got to tell you something. Now, I know maintenance can be expensive, and for some that's a huge turnoff, but when you compare this to other luxury vehicles, this is priced so well. I mean, thousands of dollars less than some of the competition. I can't help but think of the Infiniti QX50 we just recently lab tested. This would eat that thing for lunch. Between the tech, styling, performance, function, this is very hard to beat. Now, some of you might disagree with me on that, and that's okay. But when it comes to fur kids, there are two big things back there that have really improved Andie's comfort. The wide pano moonroof, Andie can actually feel the breeze, and because that rear space is longer, it means her bed can lie flat. So next time you go car shopping, start plopping down the seats in a CUV. You're gonna find most of the time they're not fully flat, which makes this a very big selling feature. And this second row, 60-40 split, spacious, cozy. And I know I already mentioned this, but this moonroof up here is a showstopper. It is so wide and just pours in a ton of light back here. So this past weekend, I watched an incredible series on how they train dogs for the blind. But while watching, I happened to notice one of the dogs likes to ride in the rear like Andie, except they were tethered. So it got me thinking, and we did a little experimentation. We already have the harness. What if we attach it to this? Strapped in. Sleepy Pod pet harness with a bungee jogging leash. Andie can lay down and sit up. I think it's gonna work, so let's get Andie's bed and go for a drive. But also real quick, if you're a hiker, do a lot of outdoor activities, or have a fur kid, take a look at the cargo protector. That's the accessory you're gonna wanna get. All right, let's go for a drive. How's it going back there, Andie? She looks pretty good. This is better than nothing, but I'm not quite sure how it's gonna work in the long term. We're just gonna test it out for a little bit. Now you see this right here? This is not a touch screen, so you're not leaning forward to make a selection. You're doing it down here. Touchpad. It's not really a scroll, it's more like a tap. You're pressing where you think you would be tapping on the screen. So if you were to take this screen, shrink it, and put it under the pad, that's where you tap. It's called absolute positioning. It works the best when you don't overthink it, and once you really get the hang of it, it's like muscle memory. Your finger just goes exactly where you want it to. Oh yeah, I just passed a Mercedes. He did a double take. That's right. He was like, ooh, what is that? It's an Acura, baby. A-Spec. You want it? Go to a dealership. Go get one. This whole centerpiece is quite a statement. I would prefer it to be open like we saw in the CR-V. I get it though, this is definitely more luxe, but I am so happy that there are dedicated buttons for climate, especially the heated and ventilated seats. Now you can't have them on at the same time, but so much easier than having to do, you know, touching, scrolling type of stuff. And even though you can't control the climate in the rear, I will say when you jack up the air, it gets like an ice box in here. Right, Andie? But I would love the addition of a 3-prong outlet. So if I wanted to use a fan, I could. Big old mode knob, which by the way, when you change the mode, look at these gorgeous displays you get. Now you totally feel a difference between Comfort and Sport Plus. I've mostly been driving in Comfort because that's what Andie likes best. And speaking of comfort, check out these seats. Ultra suede, beautiful red leather, only found in the A-Spec. And they are comfortable, and you don't have to fiddle too long just to find the right spot. And the same goes for the passenger. Ooh. You mind if I put on some music? You're doing a good job helping yourself to it. Thanks. And yes, more speakers in here, but overall, this is so fun to look at, not boring at all. The only thing I would change is the shiny black plastic to matte. Now when backing up, check this out. Looks good, very helpful, but keep in mind, it would be way better in the advanced package. Now with that said, I love this A-Spec package, but there are gonna be some compromises, and I'm not sure if looks are enough to get this over the advanced package. As you saw, no surround view camera, and I really want a 360 camera and no heated steering wheel. Now perhaps eventually the PMC edition, maybe that will have those features, or eventually the Type S RDX Acura. I really wish you could just add them into this package, but no bueno right now. So the future, we'll see what happens. But with that said, this is probably one of the nicest looking CUVs on the road today. It's loaded with safety tech. You feel safe when you're in this thing. And I really believe if you get this, you are gonna fall in love with it just like us. But most important is how comfortable she's been when we're driving around. What are you licking? Big thanks to Acura for letting us lab test this RDX. Oh, Andie, we gotta make it official. Is this lab approved? Acura, you made a fantastic ride. Don't forget, subscribe to our channel, click the bell so you know when our next video goes live. Follow Andie on Instagram to see pics of this RDX all week. And we'll see you next time. Bye.